Yar, pirates. Arr, yar, yar, pirates. Arr. So this movie actually, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, actually came out during the Fanime weeks. I did not see it then. I have just seen it. I couldn't bring myself to see the Mummy remake, so I went to see the Pirates movie from that I haven't seen yet. Yeah. So this is gonna be a quickie, I guess. More of the same. The Pirates of the Caribbean movies, I think I reviewed maybe one of them, maybe two. No need to go into the other ones. They're what they are. They're just. I think the first one was good. The fourth one was at least a little different, but none of the others were all that good. This was five. They're based on a ride at Disneyland and Disney World called Pirates of the Caribbean. But they star Johnny Depp, and this one has the audacity to have a cameo by Orlando Bloom. Anyway, so. And to address the elephant in the room, which was movie 3, and sort of like, I guess, spoilery, have the kid from the third one as an adult running around in it. And meeting his lady love and going on an adventure with Jack Sparrow. Most of the movie of which does not take place at sea, but is mainly them trying to escape San Martin. While we cut back to shots of the evil Spanish pirate who was out to get Jack Sparrow because when Jack Sparrow was young, he defeated him once, so he's out to get him. But he happens to be the undead, so he's a zombie pirate. If it does seem like the first movie where they were all zombie pirates, it is, but not as much fun. The Jeffrey Rush is back. Most of the cast is back. I think Keira Knightley has a cameo too, but you wouldn't notice. So we have, yeah, it's underwhelming. It's all right. There were some funny jokes in it, but nothing really was all that extraordinary. It was. I did see someone with a church with their grandkids going to see Wonder Woman. I didn't go with them to see Wonder Woman again, but instead I went to the Pirates movie. It was, yeah, basically Jack Sparrow orchestrates a bank robbery in the town, in which somehow a team of horses pulls a building around at one point, and all the money's flying out of the back of the vault, and it's all gone by the end. They have a boat that's like in a dry dock, and they get the boat, and they later go set sail, and for some reason the Black Pearl is a ship in a bottle from the Blackbeard episode. I think there was 3. Yeah, so it's a ship in a bottle, and they figure out how to get it out of the bottle, whatever, and there's the undead can't go up on land, even though they kind of can. They're on a boat. But, oh well, the logic in the movie doesn't need to make sense. It's a movie about, like, undead pirates and other pirates and how... And they seem to kill Jeffrey Rush's character in every movie, so this is no exception. This had a kind of a similar ending to Guardians of the Galaxy and to How to Tame Your Dragon 2 and to one of the Thor movies. The idea that the unknown parent you didn't know about shows up out of nowhere and has to sacrifice himself at the end is like, haven't they done this like a bunch of times in other movies, including Marvel and Disney movies, of which we sort of sell out to when we Marvel movie. We're not part of Disney, but we're always selling out to them, like them. Yeah, it was entertaining, fine. It was. I would probably give it a better rating than the critics did on Rotten Tomatoes when they eviscerated it, but it's like a 30%, I would say. Yeah. It's not 15 or 16. It's 30. It's 1.5 stars. Yeah, whatever. No, it's not quite two. Um. Anyway, so that's Pirates of the Caribbean. Dead Men Tell No Tales. There's a lady that's a witch, and there's a lady that's an astronomer witch. And not really a witch, but they think she is. There's a guillotine scene in which it flies and spins around for some reason. That cut his head off. They keep making jokes about the horologist because it sounds like horror, like prostitute, which they say like 4 times. Wasn't particularly funny the first time, and wasn't really funny the fourth time. Just, the jokes are a little odd. There was a potentially messed up racial in which Jack Sparrow was covered in mud, and it looks like he's in blackface. But yeah, so but I don't think that's what they intended. But no, he's like Dead Men Tell No Tales, the Pirates movie. Okay, I want to add a little bit to my review there. Talking on the end, there was a glaring astronomical error in this movie. They said it 3 or 4 times. Karina, a constellation, enters into the story because the girl's name is Karina. And they keep saying northernmost brightest star. Yeah. There's a problem with that. Argo Navis, which was broken up into the Karina and Pupas and several others of the pieces, then Vila, the sails, and all that. It's in the southern hemisphere. It's very south, very far south, and is probably not visible from the Caribbean. Yeah, there's that. Very far south. It's Carina is not one of the brightest stars in the south either. Viara or one of those others in the same area. Carina's brightest spot is in fact a nebula in the constellation Carina, called the Carina Nebula. Yes, it's a south polar area. It's below negative 40, 60, quite a bit far down there. Yeah, so it's as seen from Earth. Also, there was a post-credit sequence involving what could be Davy Jones showing up and leaving barnacles on the floor in one scene. I'm not sure what. It took them forever to make this movie, apparently, and because after On Stranger Tides, which was okay, it just took. Lone Ranger sucked, so they're like, I don't know if we should make Johnny Depp do another movie. So it's been like 6 years since the last one. Doesn't really, the timeline doesn't really work out, but that's okay. It's a Pirates of the Caribbean movie. There was one cool sequence in which they were going into the evening sun, and they accurately recreated a part of the ride, so that it looked like it was on the big screen. That was kind of neat, but yeah, apparently I inadvertently gave it the same score Rotten Tomatoes did, 29 or 30. So yeah, not northernmost, southernmost. And where were they headed with this Diamond Island that they found at the end? That didn't make sense. Anyway, so and the Trident of Poseidon enters into it somehow, as if somehow like in this universe, Greek myth is real. And what they're encountering is actual artifacts from Greek myth in the ocean. Apparently, a ship's journey from the Caribbean. So it would have to be somewhere in South America? What would it be doing there? So where were they? In Argentina at the end? Then they'd be in the South. But if they said they were going north, then they were going north, and they were in Canada somewhere. Which really doesn't make any sense. They went to Nova Scotia. Yeah, that's it. They'd be completely opposite of Karina at that point. Well, almost completely. Yeah, Karina. What is this? Yeah. If she was that great a star navigator, she clearly didn't know what she was talking about. And the cheesy way they went about explaining her parentage didn't make any sense. Even in the movie. Everybody was baffled, including the audience. But one of the oddities was a preview. It had nothing to do with the movie. It was a preview for a movie called Wonder, in which there's this kid with a mutilated face. He goes to school. Apparently that's the plot. And it's like, I can't imagine anyone wanting to see this movie for any reason other than, but he has a heart of gold or something, or he's wonderful and everything. No, it's not a horror movie, and it's not touching and cute. It's just kind of sad. And in the preview, he like gets confidence or something, and at one point jokes about it. It's like, wait a minute, that throws off the whole. Anyways, so yeah, it doesn't look like a very good movie, but yeah. What's strange about that movie, the Mask, not The Mask with Jim Carrey, but Mask with Cher. The kid in that has the disease the Elephant Man had, and it makes him look. And there was these two heartwarming scenes in the movie that gave it the Oscar that year. It's back in the 80s. One about where he goes to the blind school and teaches the blind girl about color through feeling or something. And then there's another scene where he does this other heroic thing with there's a potato scene, a color scene, and some other heroic things. But as it turns out, like the movie Rudy, it didn't really happen like that. The actual book that that Mask is based on, he was already blind and pretty messed up. So he would. The blind school scene never happened. I mean, blind. Yeah. So it's like some of these Hollywood movies, they change stuff around. In fact, that the mother character was obnoxious apparently, but that wouldn't have made a very good Oscar-winning movie. If everybody was kind of like, Well, apparently now we have a movie called Wonder, which is gonna. That would be kind of obnoxious. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. It's like Boyhood, but he's just kind of messed up looking. And apparently that Mummy movie is getting terrible reviews. It's awful. Apparently the Universal Universal decided to make a thing out of the monsters, the Dark Saga universe, of all the Universal monsters, like the Marvel people did and the DC people. It's not working because nobody really, it's not working. Yeah, so I was trying to think of some talkie movies that I liked that were just like stories about characters that weren't too subtle and weren't too literal either. And I thought of two after the fact. Ghost World and American Splendor. Although Ghost World is kind of a quirky movie in places, for the most part, it's just somebody talking about their life. That's what it's about. A girl talking about her life. That's pretty much the whole thing. It's an artsy kind of arts house movie with Thora Birch in it. American Splendor is about a guy who makes comic book cartoons. It's about his life. He gets cancer or something. Yeah, it was sort of like that movie Rudy, where they made like Rudiger, the short guy that wants to be a football player. They made that off as like, oh, he gets triumphant and he gets to play football. Actually, he really didn't. So that kind of defeats the purpose of the movie. He ended up sort of being a fraud. Yeah, that really didn't happen. But that was a quirky movie too. It was sort of a comedy. I tend to like comedies over dramas. And I tend to dislike it when a drama pretends to be a comedy. Like World According to Garp, where halfway through it's suddenly a drama. Or Rules of Attraction, which ends with which is never funny. 24-hour party people promising to be about partying when in fact for only 10 minutes it's about partying. And the other 90 minutes it's about we're moping about the party that happened. That kind of sucked. Oh, how lovely. That's the kind of movie I want to see. As for cynical 90s movies that address that a little better, the Prozac Diaries and 200 Cigarettes and American Beauty, Fight Club. These are movies that actually address that a little better. Fight Club was very interesting, but that was a dynamic movie. It was more of an action thriller. But yeah, American Beauty, yeah, stuff like that. Uh, Although sometimes it works though. In Slacker it worked, and Dazed and Confused it worked. And in Boyhood it works. For some reason in Boyhood it worked. Another talking movie. It actually worked. The ambiguity at the end of that one actually works because you figure, well, this, it started sort of off there and kind of ends sort of off there. It's kind of like a bookend. You figure he's going to end up a loser because he's started out that way. Yeah, okay, fine. Dazed and Confused, same thing. Yeah, so